Gators turned the tables in the swamp on LSU, and here this big top 6 showdown fizzles, but the party begins to sizzle for South Carolina as they just spank UGA to take command of the division along with Florida right now.
Spank's a great word. I mean, you look at Georgia, we were bragging on them all week, and what do we talk about? Such great offense, such great balance. They got manhandled in the trenches. Aaron Murray, when he did have time, didn't complete balls down the field. Really disappointing performance. And if you're South Carolina, you got to agree, or you got to be happy that you came out the gates, you kicked Georgia right in the teeth. They didn't have a response.
No, and I wanted to see, you wanted to see, Chris wanted to see, the whole world wanted to see Georgia's offense scoring 48 points a game. Yeah. On the road in this environment where they knew they would be challenged, and it wasn't even a contest between the crowd noise, the speed of Clowney, and the rest of the defensive line. They lost the battle up front. They couldn't throw, they couldn't run, and give Steve Spurrier and his offense a lot of credit. He only threw 10 passes, but the passes early were well-designed and well-timed, and it allowed them to get back to their bread and butter. They mixed just enough of the pass in to be able to run the ball well.
They did everything they wanted to do.
Yeah. Gamecocks next go to Baton Rouge, where the Bayou Bengals will be wounded, but it could come down to the visit to the swamp. South Carolina at Florida, where they won the last time, and they've beaten the Gators the last couple of years. That could decide the East.
And I tell you what, when you look at these two offenses, they're pretty similar. I mean, South Carolina, Florida, both those guys built on the running game, both mobile quarterbacks that have a lot to prove. Both defensive lines playing extremely well. So South Carolina and Florida, obviously, in the East, take charge.
I think if I'm South Carolina, I'm looking at the big picture, and I'm thinking, all right, this is 3 weeks as far as a tough stretch. This one, on the road in Baton Rouge, on the road in Gainesville. And I know it's all about the East and getting to Atlanta, but they're going to be up in the top 5. And the challenge for South Carolina and Steve Spurrier will be to maintain this energy and this attitude that they played with tonight. Can they take this attitude into Baton Rouge? That's the quick question. Without this crowd, can they do that? Can they play that way? That's the question.
It makes it a lot tougher for them.
Aside from #1 Alabama, it looks like the power in this conference has shifted to the East. What do you make of LSU? They thought they could flip a switch and turn it on in the swamp. Did not happen at all.
No, and as much as we talked about Zach Mettenberger and what is he going to do? How is he going to step up? The receivers continue to not step up for LSU. They're not running the ball like they were. So LSU's definitely got some problems. They've still got some grown men on that defensive line. But they definitely have some problems in their offense.
And it'll be interesting just to see how they regroup. They got a huge game again, like it is every week in the SEC. But here comes one of the most talented and most confident teams in the SEC, South Carolina. LSU still has a chance to be a factor, but how they regroup this week will go a long way in determining whether or not they're going to stick around.
Still control their own destiny, too. I mean,
exactly. This loss today didn't hurt them for the West. They still got Alabama coming to their place, but LSU's got a lot of questions to answer at this point.